So we are live on YouTube.
Nice.
This is the first time it got connected, so I'm thankful to the tech. Um, Thank you, Vaishnavis, for joining in. We have our very special guest today with us, Her Grace Jayashree Prabhu from
Hi,
1960.
everybody.
That she has met Srila Prabhupada and been strong in serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada. And personally, I'm blessed to learn some deity worship from her. So I thank her personally too. And I got to know that you used to visit Detroit, where now I am in Michigan, Farmington Hills. And
I
I'm working
actually,
actually in Detroit. I'm right here in Detroit.
I have two kids that were born in Detroit, two that were born in Hawaii.
Ah, that's nice to know that you have connections here, that you came here too.
Yeah,
So thank you so much.
I moved into the Fisher Mansion when they moved in.
Jai, they're still here. So please do visit us when you come here. I'm here to host you. We'll be happy to host you here.
Thank you.
So we look forward to hearing from Mother Jayashree, and let us all welcome with the loud Hari Bols from your hearts from online. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, Mataji.
Haribo,
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 Haribo, Haribo.
Haribo. So many hearts and things flying up on the screen.
On the Zoom love.
Zoom love. Wow, look at that. Very cool.
There are 32 Vaishnavis online with us today.
Okay, well, welcome everyone.
You would want to read and explain, or you want to share whatever pattern you want to do with the book
Okay,
as we are beginning the
I
second
guess I
one.
misunderstood. You want me to, are we reading the chapter? What are we doing?
Whatever
They,
you want to
they've
do it. Like
already
if
read
you,
the chapter. Is that
no, today we are going to, like, we just completed the first book yesterday, and today is the beginning of the Beyond Birth and Death.
okay? I misunderstood. I thought you said you guys were going to read it.
We can read it after, or with you, or tomorrow we can continue. Any pattern is fine. Nothing is fixed.
Oh, well, I read it.
So yeah,
I
you
don't
could
have
share
it.
with
I
us.
don't have it up on my screen.
I can
So
bring it up. I can share it right away. Yeah, here
the
comes.
Beyond Birth
Yeah.
and Death, I looked it up a little bit, and it said A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada delivered the lectures that comprised Beyond Birth and Death in 1966, focusing on the second and eighth chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, which you can tell by reading it. He quotes Bhagavad Gita constantly. And the book was first published by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust on January 1st in 1972. It served as an introduction to the spiritual nature of the soul, reincarnation, and the journey after death. Lecture 1966, first published January 1st, 1972 by Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. The book explores themes such as eternal nature of the self, the difference between the soul and the temporary body, and how to break the cycle of reincarnation. I thought that was very interesting. We used to distribute this book. You know, it's a small paperback. It's easy to distribute anywhere. And people are, everyone thinks about death, right? It's like one of those, oh, scary things you don't want to think about, but everyone thinks about it, especially when they have some friend, some relative that passes away. Oh, what happened? How did this happen? It's so scary. Where did they go? I'll never see them again. Prabhupada in this book gives you so much insight into what's going on, which people desperately need. So, did you want to read a little bit?
Sure, I'll go ahead and share the screen. So a little bit of reading we can do. Any volunteers, Vaishnavis? Anybody wants to take up a little bit of reading? We are not these bodies. Yes, Kalindi Prabhu, please go ahead. You're able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmad sarvani bhutani natvam sochitamarhasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. Gita 2:30. The very first step in self-realization is realizing one's identity as separate from the body. I am not this body, but am spirit soul, is an essential realization for anyone who wants to transcend death and enter into the spiritual world beyond. It is not simply a matter of saying I am not this body, but of actually realizing it. This is not as simple as it may seem at first. Although we are not these bodies but are pure consciousness, somehow or other we have become encased within the bodily dress. If we actually want the happiness and independence that transcend death, we have to establish ourselves and remain in our constitutional position as pure consciousness. Living in the bodily conception, our idea of happiness is like that of a man in delirium. Some philosophers claim that this delirious condition of bodily identification should be cured by abstaining from all action. Because these material activities have been a source of distress for us, they claim that we should actually stop these activities. Their culmination of perfection is in a kind of Buddhistic nirvana in which no activities are performed. Buddha maintained that due to a combination of material elements, this body has come into existence, and that somehow or other, if these material elements are separated or dismantled, the cause of suffering is removed. If the tax collectors give us too much difficulty because we happen to possess a large house, one simple solution is to destroy the house. However, the Bhagavad Gita indicates that this material body is not all in all. Beyond this combination of material elements, there is spirit, and the symptom of that spirit is consciousness.
Thank
Can
you.
I say something?
Yeah, yes, please. That's how we thought. We'll stop a little bit and hear from you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it amazes me when I really delve into it how Prabhupada was so knowledgeable. He had knowledge from all these different literatures. He quotes from so many different scriptures, so many different places, so many different teachers, and he puts it all together in a very compact way for the now, for the people of this day and age. People are walking around, they're simply absorbed generally in this, more sense gratification, what to do, how to get more money, what to get more, how to be more happy with music, with whatever. And Prabhupada, knowing the mentality of the people now, has taken all these and he puts in a very simple format, right? He always starts out and he never stopped. You're not this body, right? And because when he's able to bring the reader to the position of the fact that you're temporarily in a body, your time is limited, your family is here today, and as they say, gone tomorrow, and everything else that you've accumulated, then it's not to scare anyone. It's just to put them in the perspective that it matters what you do in this now time. How you act to people, your karmic accumulation. And Prabhupada, he just does it with such great, not only finesse, but such knowledge. And when you met Srila Prabhupada personally, that knowledge was like, whatever. Guru means heavy. Prabhupada was extremely advanced. When he said something, just volumes of knowledge emanated you, and you got so much realization. It was a quite amazing experience. And he did it painstakingly. It's not that he came over and then he had the red carpet and he had all this money and all this facility. Just the fact that he, being a pure devotee, had to struggle makes it understandable of our struggle. It's like, oh, I'm a devotee. I should be floating on a magic carpet and everything should fall from the sky. It's like, no, that's not the way this situation works in this world. I mean, even the Christians, look what happened to Jesus. this is Kali Yuga. There's a lot of bad people and a lot of bad energy happening. Go ahead. Thanks.
Another Vaishnavi Amrita Leela Mataji, would you like to take up consciousness cannot be denied from there?
Sure, Mataji.
Thank you.
Consciousness cannot be denied. A body without consciousness is a dead body. As soon as consciousness is removed from the body, the mouth will not speak, the eye will not see, nor the ears hear. A child can understand that. It is a fact that consciousness is absolutely necessary for the animation of the body. What is this consciousness? Just as heat or smoke are symptoms of fire, so consciousness is the symptom of the soul. The energy of the soul or self is produced in the shape of consciousness. Indeed, consciousness proves that the soul is present. This is not only the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, but the conclusion of all Vedic literatures. Am I continuing or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. The impersonalist, followers of Shankaracharya, as well as the Vaishnavas, following in the disciplic succession from Lord Sri Krishna, acknowledge the factual existence of the soul, but the Buddhist philosophers do not. The Buddhists contend that at a certain stage, the combination of matter produces consciousness. But this argument is refuted by the fact that although we may have all the constituents of matter at our disposal, we cannot produce consciousness from them. All the material elements may be present in a dead body, in a dead man, but we cannot revive that man to consciousness. This body is not like a machine. When a part of a machine breaks down, it can be replaced and the machine will work again. But when the body breaks down and consciousness leaves the body, there is no possibility of our replacing the broken part and rejuvenating the consciousness. The soul is different from the body, and as long as the soul is there, the body is animate. But there is no possibility of making the body animate in the absence of the soul.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
One thing I really like about the way Srila Prabhupada has written is he'll go into, it's kind of negative. Okay, you're not this body. And he talks about the temporary and miserable nature of this material situation. But then he brings in the very positive fact that the soul's eternal and that there is a situation that we can become elevated to that will be free from misery, full of bliss, knowledge, not like the spiritual world is not full of darkness and difficulties. Prabhupada has a very positive side to all of his discussions. You just have to keep on going until you find it. Never to become discouraged by the negativity. I know we're not at the point yet, but there's a part that we're going to read, and I'm not sure where, but I thought I would read it. This particular section, this is from me. This is not from Prabhupada. The particular section is impressive. It's for this day and age, and we see nowadays there's so much discrimination, right? And this is something that I do at the palace. When I do tours at the palace, I bring people to the changing bodies picture. There's a big changing bodies picture. And we go through it that you're not this body, basically. I mean, the tour is only like 20 minutes, so there's not a lot of time. But Prabhupada, when he's speaking, and this is something I noticed about him in person, he's not talking to group on the platform of a religion. He's way beyond that. And we'll see a little farther, which is something I wanted to read. He's talking to the soul, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Buddhist, whether you're a Muslim or a Hindu. He's not talking to you as a Hindu. He's talking to you as a spirit soul. This is your position. You're not this body. Hey, you're part and parcel of Krishna and you're servant of Krishna. That's who you are. It doesn't matter if you go to Krishna through the Bible, through the Vedas, through the Quran. You're not what you think you are on this material platform. You're a free soul that can find a spiritual place that's not full of misery and not connected to the birth, death, old age, and disease situation. And we'll see a little farther. Prabhupada, we'll read it in a little while. The word Veda means book of knowledge, right? There are many books of knowledge which vary according to the country, the population, the environment. In India, the books of knowledge are referred to as the Vedas. See, look at where he's situated. He's not like a materialistic preacher trying to get people to be part of his congregation. He's talking to the soul, and he's talking to everybody and anybody, right? In India, the books are referred to as the Vedas. The West, they are called the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Mohammedans accept the Quran. What is the purpose of these books of knowledge? It's so easy to preach to people when you're talking to them from that platform and not, hey, I'm a Hare Krishna, you got to follow me. This is our books, and this is the only way to do it. Prabhupada's not like that. What is the purpose of these books of knowledge? They are to train us to understand our position as a pure spirit soul. It makes it so much nicer. Their purpose is to restrict bodily activities by certain rules and regulations, and these rules and regulations are known as codes of morality. It's like you see some of the Bible preachers or anybody, actually even in our group. Oh, you're going to hell if you don't. You've got to do this. It's like, oh, but that's not the way Prabhupada presents things. He presents things as if you follow these things, you'll get such a better life. You'll be so much more happy. You'll be freer from misery. It's just so much more positive. The body must be controlled in order for us to reach the highest perfection, and without regulative principles, it's not possible to perfect our lives. It's like, yay, yes, that's what I'm looking for. And according to Prabhupada, all of these books of knowledge can help us get there. I think it's so great. There's no possibility of making advancement in government or civilization without some regulations. In the previous verse, Krishna tells Arjuna that is the regulative principles of the Vedas. They're meant to control the three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. However, Krishna is advising Arjuna to establish himself in his pure constitutional position as spirit soul, right? Sanatana Dharma, and beyond the dualities of material nature. It's just so deep. It's on such a higher level, right? It's actually so refreshing. Okay, that was it.
Yes, thank you. I'll ask the next Vaishnavi to read. Sheetal Mataji, are you available to read?
Yes,
Next.
Mataji. Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Because we cannot perceive the soul by our gross senses, we deny it. Actually, there are so many things that are there which we cannot see. We cannot see air, radio waves, or sound, nor can we perceive minute bacteria with our blunt senses. But this does not mean they are not there. By the aid of the microscope and other instruments, many things can be perceived which had previously been denied by the imperfect senses. Just because the soul, which is atomic in size, has not been perceived yet by senses or instruments, We should not conclude that it is not there. It can, however, be perceived by its symptoms and effects. Should I continue?
Yeah,
Go
please.
on.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna points out that all of our miseries are due to false identification with the body. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoushna sukha dukkhada agama payino nityas tamsat iti takshasva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. O scion of Bharat, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Bhagavad Gita 2.14.
You know, Srila Prabhupada wrote, he was so personal when he was here with his disciples. He wrote just hundreds of letters. And not speaking from a platform of just like spiritual knowledge, but very practical. Like one time I wrote to him, I was I'd moved into the Hawaii temple, which is where I met Srila Prabhupada. And we were poor. I mean, poor, we were really poor. But of course, it didn't matter. I was already kind of a hippie-ish type of person. I had been working a little and I had never even cashed my paychecks because I would just live so simply. And people were bringing things. I remember thinking, oh, I wish I had a way to sew. And then, I mean, we were in the country in the middle of nowhere. You'd have to see where the temple in Kaava was located, up on a hill, old Hawaiian house, nothing around, just the ocean and some houses. Somehow or other, someone brought a sewing kit and put it inside the door. That was like the next day after I was thinking I wish I had a sewing kit. So I wrote to Srila Prabhupada. And he said, yes, he said, you will see when you're chanting Hare Krishna that Krishna is providing for you specifically. So he dealt on such a very personal level. It was a great experience to meet someone that was so advanced and so elevated and so pure, but so down to earth and practical. Like more human than any human, but at the same time more spiritual than anyone I'd ever met. We're very fortunate.
I'm so sorry, I lost my connection on my laptop. If somebody else is able to share their screen for reading.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I can share.
Yes, please.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So somebody has to start from here. Read.
In the sum,
I can, if you want, if that's okay.
sure, go ahead.
In the summertime, we may feel pleasure from contact with water, but in the winter, we may shun that very water because it is too cold. In either case, the water is the same, but we perceive it as pleasant or painful due to its contact with the body. All feelings of distress and happiness are due to the body. Under certain conditions, the body and mind feel happiness and distress. Factually, we are hankering after happiness. For the soul's constitutional position is that of happiness. The soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Being, who is Satchidananda Vigraha, the embodiment of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. Indeed, the very name Krishna, which is non-sectarian, means greatest pleasure. Krish means greatest, and Na means pleasure. Krishna is the epitome of pleasure, and being part and parcel of him, we hanker for pleasure. A drop of ocean water has all the properties of the ocean itself, and we, although minute particles of the Supreme Whole, have the same energetic properties as the Supreme. The atomic soul, although so small, is moving the entire body to act in so many wonderful ways. In the world, we see so many cities, highways, bridges, great buildings, monuments, and great civilizations. But who has done all this? It is all done by the minute spirit spark within the body. If such wonderful things can be performed by the minute spirit spark, we cannot begin to imagine what can be accomplished by the Supreme Spirit whole. The natural hankering of the minute spirit spark is for the qualities of the whole, knowledge, bliss, and eternality. But these hankerings are being frustrated due to the material body. The information on how to attain the soul's desire is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Do we have 1 minute left?
Sure. We can continue a few minutes. Yes, please.
Oh, no, I just was wondering if we end in a minute.
Uh, not so on. We can go a few minutes. Absolutely, no problem.
Oh, I see. It's no hard and
No,
fast
no hard and
rules,
fast.
like
Stop.
chanting.
Yes, we start on time though.
You know, one of our boys from New Vrindavan had left, and he was like really disturbed and really didn't want any part of this. And then he went to college, and he realized that with all the, some of the schools were very poorly taken care of, unfortunately, something that is a great pain to many of us mothers and children. But he realized, even though on certain levels he didn't want anything to do with this movement, he realized what a great gift he had gotten and of knowledge and understanding. And he felt, now he was in college, he felt that the young people that he was in school with had no clue what was going on in life. And he ended up, really appreciating his background, his history, and I guess forgiving or overlooking the bad things that happen because of foolish people, but actually has gone on to do wonderful things spiritually in our movement. So the knowledge is on a different level than just mundane knowledge. It changes the heart, it changes the soul. So it's only to our advantage to learn more and understand the gift that we have. Nothing will ever be perfect in this world. ISKCON has its challenges for sure. We see all this stuff in our movement that are like, oh, wow, where did that come from? Wasn't here when Prabhupada was around. But I mean, even Prabhupada had problems with people in our movement. So, but that's not our movement. Our movement is Lord Chaitanya's movement. It's on a different platform. It's for the soul. So we wade through all this Kali Yuga stuff and are able to get the knowledge and the nectar of devotion that we get from, especially from Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada was the founder. All the things he did left a set of foundation. He was the commander in chief, right? He wasn't some wishy-washy flower child kind of person. Prabhupada was a warrior. He was a spiritual warrior. And he very painstakingly set a foundation down that although other people may be pure devotees, Prabhupada, his service was to do what he did, to set a foundation down that nobody else could do. And that's to our great fortune that we're able to be in contact with such an elevated person. But he also, like it says, he built a house in which the whole world can live. So our movement has expanded. I mean, if someone would have told me in 1969 that this little movement was going to be what it is today, I would have said, no way, impossible. But people are learning, they're getting shelter, they're getting a better direction in life. And with all the faults that we can find within our movement and with people in our movement, still the movement of Lord Chaitanya is in the background. And Prabhupada wanted the books to go out because they set the base or the foundation for people to work on that platform, not just on the mundane platform of problems within the material organization of ISKCON, but actually to find their way to their relationship with the Supreme Lord. That was Prabhupada's foundation that he set. And these books carry that. And that's why he wanted them distributed and read. Okay.
That's so true. Like we need your blessings that we can actually continue staying up and reading. That's the challenge of joining in every day and at least
Yes.
30 minutes of reading.
It's a great project, and there's a lot of reading groups now. I'm in two other reading groups. One is an hour and a half. The other one is an hour and a half too, reading Bhagavad Gita, and the other one is Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's so helpful because I am not a reader. I'm just, unfortunately, when you asked me to do this, I thought, oh, who am I to tell anyone to read? I listen to all Prabhupada's lectures. That's for me, hearing. So I hear a lot. But reading has not been my high point. But I like these reading groups because it does that. It forces me to read.
That's where I'm seeing myself helping myself by doing these so I can also read on a regular basis. It's a challenge for all the Vaishnavis across. Is it okay if we read for a little bit more from that chapter?
Please, I'm into it.
So I'm going to share back again, and Vaishnavis, please help me where we left off because my laptop just got connected back on the internet. Could you help me with the paragraph? Anybody is aware where we left off?
I believe it's at present we are trying to attain
Present?
eternity.
Yeah,
We
that's correct.
completed this? Did we
Yeah,
complete
at
or not?
present. We have to read that. Yeah.
Janaki Vishnupriya Mataji, would you like to take up this part?
Yes, thank you. At present, we are trying to attain eternity, bliss, and knowledge by the means of an imperfect instrument. Actually, our progress toward these goals is being blocked by the material body. Therefore, we have come to the realization of our existence beyond the body. Theoretical knowledge that we are not these bodies will not do. We have to keep ourselves always separate as masters of the body, not as servants. If we know how to drive a car well, it will give us good service. But if we do not know how, we will be in danger.
You want to continue another one, if it's okay?
Yeah. The body is composed of senses, and the senses are always hungry after their objects. The eyes see a beautiful person and tell us, oh, there is a beautiful girl, a beautiful boy. Let's go see. The ears are telling us, oh, there is very nice music. Let us go hear it. The tongue is saying, oh, there is a very nice restaurant with palatable dishes. Let us go. In this way, the senses are dragging us from one place to another. And because of this, we are perplexed. Indriyanam hi charatam ya mano nuvid hiyate tad asye harati pragnam navam ivam basi. As a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Bhagavad Gita 2.67. It is imperative that we learn how to control the senses. The name Goswami is given to someone who has learned how to master the senses. Go means senses and Swami means controller. So, one who can control the senses is to be considered a Goswami. Krishna indicates that one who identifies with the illusionary material body cannot establish himself in his proper identity as spirit soul. Bodily pleasure is flickering and intoxicating, and we cannot actually enjoy it because of its momentary nature. Actually, pleasure is of the soul, not the body. We have to mold our lives in such a way that we will not be diverted by bodily pleasure. If somehow we are diverted, it is not possible for us to establish our consciousness in its true identity beyond the body. भोगेश्वर्य प्रशक्तानां तया परतचेतसां वियस्यात्मिका बुद्धि समदौ न विद्यते त्रैगुण्या विषया वेदा नैष्त्रैगुण्या भवर्जुनः निर्वन्दा नित्यसस्वतो निर्योगाक्षेम आत्मवान्. Do you want me to stop here?
Mataji, do you want us to keep reading a little bit more, or how
Yeah,
would you?
it was not, yeah, it just went up now. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. The Vedas deal with the subject of three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjun. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Bhagavad Gita 2.44 to 2.45. Did somebody else want to read, or do you want me to finish?
I can take up, Mataji.
Okay, thank
The
you.
word Veda means book of knowledge. There are many books of knowledge which vary according to the country, population, environment, etc. In India, the books of knowledge are referred to as Vedas. In the West, they are called the Old Testament and New Testament. The Muhammadans accept the Quran. What is the purpose for all these books of knowledge? They are to train us to understand our position as pure soul. Their purpose is to restrict bodily activities by certain rules and regulations, and these rules and regulations are known as codes of morality. The Bible, for instance, has 10 commandments intended to regulate our lives. The body must be controlled in order for us to reach the highest perfection, and without regulative principles, it is not possible to perfect our lives. The regulative principles may differ from country to country or from scripture to scripture, but that doesn't matter, for they are made according to the time and circumstances and the mentality of the people. But the principle of regulated control is the same. Similarly, the government sets down certain regulations to be obeyed by the citizens. There is no possibility of making advancement in government or civilization without some regulations. In the previous verse, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that the regulative principles of the Vedas are meant to control the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. However, Krishna is advising Arjuna to establish himself in his pure constitutional position as spirit soul, beyond the dualities of material nature. Just keeping the time, and just if any other Vaishnavis have any questions, you want to interact with Jai Shri Prabhu, I don't want to stop that. So if you have any questions to ask, or you want to share something with Jai Shri Prabhu when she's with us here, please unmute yourself and feel free to talk. Yes, Nitya Kishore.
Krishna, Krishna Mother Jayashri, my question was,
Hello.
you had mentioned about the letters from Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada wrote to Srila Prabhupada disciples, and they were not to be distributed. I recently read in I can't remember the book's name, where there's all quotes. It is for, we were given this in the leadership training. And Prabhupada clearly said that, my letters are all personal, they're not to be distributed. But then we do see so many, letters being displayed in social media and emails. Do you have any comments regarding that?
From what I can see, the way things go in our movement, Prabhupada says black on one side, he says in one place, and then he says no, white on another place. So when you see those conflicts, you might take it as you have to see the whole picture. Prabhupada may have said that in one place, that the letters were not for everybody, but at the same time, they are. I mean, his letters, that was one thing that we always did. When Prabhupada wrote a letter to someone, everyone gathered and listened to it. They knew it was for the one particular person, but there was always instruction that was very general. It wasn't, and none of them are really conflicting. It's just that we don't know enough. We're in this small vision, thinking that Krishna consciousness means this. Prabhupada wrote in the Nectar of Devotion, it's an offense to wear blue or red in the temple. That was one of the offenses. Okay. But when asked, he said it wasn't important. But somebody could take that and make a whole case out of it. But at the same time, it really wasn't very important. So we don't have that discrimination because we don't have the knowledge to understand where these things are coming from, the original source of the instructions, from whatever Krishna said that we never heard before. Prabhupada made general things, like maybe he said, okay, my books are not for everyone, but at the same time, I mean, not the books, I'm sorry, the letters, but at the same time, they are for everyone. I don't know if that was clear or not, but that's how I see it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for clearing that out. Real quick, I've got a lot of great points from your explanation today. One of them that I'm going to take away today is this higher level knowledge changes our heart and soul. I really love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mother Jayashree. Haribol.
It's Kali Yuga, and people can find anything to argue and fight about. And we can use the scriptures, Prabhupada's books, letters, to fight with somebody else who's fighting you with something opposite, all still from Prabhupada. But we don't really want to act on that platform of Kali Yuga mentality. We're trying to make progress. And that means reading more, hearing more, and trying to understand. A pure devotee doesn't fight with other people like that. He may argue to defeat someone to help them, but he doesn't argue for the sake of arguing, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Amrita Leela Mataji, would you like to ask your question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
First of all, I beg your forgiveness. I don't know whether the question is relevant or not, but I have heard different places, addressing Vaishnavis as Prabhu, I never dared to ask the question, like, it is in my mind, like, uh, like Mata is the higher positions, but I always juggle. I fear to ask anyone. So with humble forgiveness, if at all you can clear mind out, it is in my mind since many years.
You mean the issue of the Prabhu thing?
Yeah. I live in DC area, Washington DC area. In some congregations, like they call Prabhu, right?
Yes, yes.
You might be named Rukmini Mataji, Kunti Mataji, and we really respect them. And we go, and I feel like confused. Should I call Mataji or should I call Prabhu? But they also call me Mataji. So, but I never asked. Um,
It's
please.
for me, it doesn't matter because I'm not gonna act on that platform of being upset if someone calls me Mataji. But at the same time, I can understand if you call a man Prabhu
Mhm.
because he's a man, that's one thing. If you call a man Prabhu because he's a servant of Krishna, but you don't give that same respect to a woman who may be doing more service, may be more advanced than that man, if you don't have the consciousness to call her Prabhu, meaning that she is a servant of Krishna, then there's a problem. It's not right as far as I'm concerned. It's just from the Indian viewpoint, Prabhu means man, means husband,
Yes.
right? You don't call him by his name, you call him Prabhu.
That's true.
And you could call him Prabhu even if you weren't in the Hare Krishna movement, because Prabhu means like man, like master, like father of the house, like, but in our movement, working on a spiritual platform, the women are Prabhus. And many of them are more advanced than many of the men, I must say. Just because you have a woman's body does not mean you are not spiritually advanced. And but as I say, I mean, some of our women, like if you call some of the women Mataji, you'll hear it. I'm not your mother, right? Mother Jamuna, cookbook Jamuna. She would be offended when someone would call her Mataji. I'm not your mother. I'm not a Mataji. I'm a Prabhu. I'm a servant. My spiritual master saw me as a servant of Krishna. I'm acting on that platform. I don't want to act on a Mataji platform. What is a Mataji? It means woman. But I'm not trying to be a woman. I'm trying to be a spirit soul, like we're reading about here on the platform of devotional service. I'm not this body. So it's just become one of those things, like the woman Diksha thing, right?
Okay.
But whatever. For me, if a woman is an advanced devotee, she's going to preach and she's going to make disciples, whether they're Shiksha disciples, Diksha disciples, she's going to make people that want to hear from her because it's her nature. It's where she's situated spiritually. They're going to want to hear from her and they take her on a certain level as a spiritual master. Whether you call it Shiksha, maybe they don't do the fire sacrifice, they don't give a name, the person doesn't come to them or may come to them regularly for their problems, their spiritual upliftment. They have the position anyway. Whether other people want to acknowledge that or not, they're doing the job. And Krishna's seeing that. And to me, that's the higher platform to work on. But that's where I see it.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the clarifications. You're right. I was in kind of my Indian mentality, like Prabhu's means man, even no matter, like Mata means a like mother or not, but a lady, even small girl, because a mother is hidden within her. But I didn't know that the inlined philosophy of being servant of Krishna. But thank you so much for clarification. I feel like relieved. Many years it was in my mind, but I never asked.
Yeah, Prabhu means master.
Much.
You're the master because you're serving the pure devotee.
Yeah.
And you are a Prabhu because that's what Prabhupada gave us. Prabhupada apparently never called the women Mataji. He didn't want them working on that platform. He wanted them to realize, death is coming today or tomorrow. There's no guarantee. You're not this body. That's what Prabhupada, which we were just reading. You're not this body. So Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, you're not this body. So to work and act on the platform of you're not this body is what we're supposed to be doing. But at the same time, when Prabhupada would write to me, he one time when I was Prabhupada was the first devotee I ever met. He was there at a house in Hawaii by himself, and I went there by Krishna's mercy. And he was outside telling us to come in when we drove up. He had no idea who we were or what we were doing there. Krishna just made the arrangement. And then a few days later, we went on a Harinam, and I had a mini dress that was very high. I didn't know any better. And I jumped in the back of this old red pickup truck. Prabhupada was in the front with Govindadasi and Gursinder. And there were all these, like 4 or 5 men there. And Prabhupada was so friendly and so personal with me. It was just so wonderful. But when I got in the back of the truck, I tried talking to the men, and they wouldn't look at me. It's like I was 20 years old, a little bit attractive, had this mini dress on, and I was trying to be friendly with them and talk, and nobody, they would look at me. It was like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. It was like, what's up with these guys? And when I got out of the truck, I said, I'm going to go walk with him, with Prabhupada. He was so wonderful. I loved him. And so I went and started walking with him. And he had his umbrella. I have a picture, actually. Give me 1 second. You may not be able to see it very well. Can you see it? Can you see Prabhupada's walking?
Yes,
And do you see the young girl?
Yes,
we do.
Yes,
yeah.
that's me.
Haribol.
So I was walking with Prabhupada, and I was thinking, oh, he was so sweet and so wonderful and just so loving and kind. And so I was walking with him.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can you please show the picture one more time? I couldn't. Sorry. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
And I was walking with him, and he stopped, and he put his umbrella in the ground, and he said, he looked at me because I was bewildered by the guys in the truck. It's like, why aren't they nice? And he looked at me and he said, do you not know you are a woman? I was like, whoa, like a different platform. Like, we are women. There's no doubt about that. And I never wore a mini skirt after that. But at the same time, we are Prabhus. We're devotees. We're not just women. We're women. That's our bodily situation. And there is a place for us as women. But at the same time, we are Prabhus. We are spiritually serving the personality of Godhead. We are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and we are in his line. We're souls, and we're going to leave this body, and we're not going to be a woman anymore, unless Krishna makes that arrangement. So to act on the platform only of being a woman is not good. We want to act on the Prabhu platform of being a spirit soul. But at the same time, because we are women, we need to act properly as women. Men are men. My father was a very man of the house. He did not argue with my father. And I have no problem with being subordinate to a good man. But like right now, I'm with my son, my oldest son, and he's kind and he's intelligent and he's devoted and he's a wonderful father and a wonderful son. And I have no problem. I wouldn't argue with them. But, we are Prabhus. That's the bottom line for me.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the clarifications, for all those insight you provided. It cleared my mind. Haribol.
Haribol.
One last one from Kalindi Devi.
Kalindi. Which Kalindi are you? So many Kalindis, so many Jayashrees.
You have to unmute, Kalindi.
Yes, it would be good if you unmuted.
You are,
Sorry,
yes.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, please get my obeisances on Mr. Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri. I live in Arkansas right now. So I have a question because you mentioned at some point about the change of body and soul. So I was wondering, what is the change of the soul?
I said change of body and soul? No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I mean, the soul is us. We don't change.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. How can we change our soul? Because I thought the soul was unchangeable, but
yes, unchangeable and immutable.
Immutable,
Not
yes.
burned by fire, not withered by the wind, not moistened by water.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, when one goes to some, you say, kind of mental difficulties, how does that affect? It affects a lot of things, it affects our whole consciousness.
Yes.
So how to deal with that? It is like so unsettling,
Yes. And old age is full of all kinds of weaknesses, bodily weaknesses, mental weaknesses. Yeah. I mean, that's probably why Prabhupada was always so persistent about using your time wisely. When we're young, to use our time as best we can for our spiritual emancipation. Because especially when you get older, well, I mean, anyone can have mental problems. It's like a karmic thing.
Yeah.
So personally, I know one time I was having some serious challenges, and it was because my body was so sick at the time. And my doctor, I was having like panic attacks and stuff. And I was really, really sick at the time. And my doctor said, I want you to talk to a psychiatrist. I said, I don't want to talk to a psychiatrist because I didn't feel like I was crazy, but at the same time, I felt like I was crazy. And then I said, oh, well, I guess I should talk to her. And so she talked to me and she said, I think what's happening with your mind is because your body, my adrenals and stuff were really bad. And after being in the hospital for 3 days and them doing extensive tests, only thing that was wrong with me was I had extreme vitamin D deficiency. And that then I spoke with the same psychiatrist after, and I told her what was wrong. And she said, yes. She said, you have no idea how many people come to me thinking they're crazy when it's just extreme vitamin D deficiency.
Wow.
So when I have any kind of mental challenges, especially if I'm sick, like not just a cold, I mean like really sick, like after COVID, whatever, I got super sick. Then I have a naturopath doctor and I have an Ayurvedic doctor and a regular allopathic doctor. And I go to my Ayurvedic doctor, a naturopath doctor, And they'll give me some different herbs that, because the body and the mind gets affected. But I always take care of anything like that may be in my way of living a peaceful life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Prabhupada said the mind is the facility that we have for making spiritual progress.
Yes,
So we need to have a peaceful and stable mental condition.
Mm-hmm.
So I work on that by many things, in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much for that advice.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Jai Shri Prabhu. Is it okay if we end here?
Please. Thank you. We went overtime, 3 minutes over.
We're very grateful that you came with us, and if time permits in future, any other days, if you're available, we'll keep in touch if you would like to come again and address us.
Yes, and I'll come for the reading too when I can. I think I need that.
Thank
Okay,
you. We'll
everyone.
end
Thank
here.
you.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavi Vrand ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Jai Shri Prabhu ki jai.
Can you stay on with me after everyone gets off and we can talk about this other issue?
Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Haribol.
Hey, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.